What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another weather forecast here by Age Weather Forecast. We're going to do a transition back into the severe weather here. We have a back-to-back enhanced risk. Now, this enhanced risk is now for Nebraska and portions of the Central Plains. So we are now back in that severe weather trend here. So maybe we can be a bit more active next coming days. We have very high CAPE. We also have very low cap, so very favorable for potential supercells are likely today. We have a very high wind threat as well, so expect 90 plus miles an hour and all of that. But before we get in the video, please check out the Discord server in the description below to Weather Expo. It's a really awesome community. Also, guys, I really want to thank you guys so much for subscribing to my cousin's YouTube channel. It really means a lot. He's super happy, so I want to thank you guys for whoever subscribed to his channel. And also hit the post notification icon, subscribe, and also like button. Without further ado, let's get into this video. Here we are taking a look at the satellite imagery here, and as you see, we are starting to see storms popping up scattered across the plains here, especially out here in the Midwest for portions of Minnesota, Iowa, near Sioux City, Sioux Falls, that whole general area near Elk Point. You guys are going to be seeing some severe weather here at this point, so we're going to see some pop-up storms at this point. But later on in the afternoon, in the Midwest, we're going to start seeing these really strong storms, kind of like this. You're going to start seeing these really strong and huge pop-up of cloud cover, and that's going to be those strong storms, including Kansas, Nebraska, Minnesota, South Dakota, and Iowa. Let's go ahead and check out now the National Weather Service. Here we are looking at the National Weather Service. As you do see, we have a couple severe thunderstorm watches and a couple severe thunderstorm warnings here. They just updated it right now. We have now severe thunderstorm warnings all the way from the Canadian border with Minnesota to Kansas, near northwestern Kansas. That's absolutely crazy. And we also do now have a tornado warning in Minnesota. I'm actually going to, we're not really speaking of that right now because it is new, and obviously when the video comes out, it will be delayed or it will have been removed or expired. But here we have severe thunderstorm watches all the way across the plains here in portion of the Central Plains. This is including Wisconsin, Minnesota, and we also do have a couple heat advisories and excessive heat warnings, and that's showing you how humid it is and very warm, so very favorable conditions. That's exactly why we have very high CAPE values right here, because the overday heating. And also we have some red flag warnings, exactly why we have that very big wind threat. So we do have big cities like, I believe, Minneapolis, Duluth, including as well North Platte, including Michelle and other areas right there near the severe in the severe thunderstorm watches. Let's go and check out now the day one outlook. Here's the day one outlook. As you do see, here is the enhanced risk, including northern Kansas and also much of Nebraska. So this is including a rural area, so not really any big cities to really worry about. So shouldn't see any PDS tornadoes, whether we have one or not. So if we do have one in this area right here, we shouldn't have obviously a huge threat. But obviously we still have a tornado is still a threat, but just not as big as a threat there. But as you see, the enhanced risk is including Nebraska and Kansas. Then we have a very widespread slight risk from Michigan there, all the way to a portion of the tip of Colorado, even Missouri as well. So very widespread threat for severe weather. Tornado threat is a bit lower at a 5% chance now. It actually was just updated, 5% chance for Minnesota and also Wisconsin. So that is near the Duluth area. Northern Minnesota and northern Wisconsin do have a 5% chance for tornadoes. I think we can possibly have most likely 2 to 4 tornadoes today. That is my prediction here. And possibly if maybe 6 to 8 tornado warnings, separate tornado warnings. We already have one. So that is a one there. 15% chance for hail, so not a huge hail threat, but obviously we still have that possibility for some 2-inch sized hail, 3-inch sized hail. Just won't be as widespread of a threat, really, if that makes sense, really. So if we're not as, let's just say, confident in seeing over 2-inch sized hail, which is why we don't have a 30% chance, but we have that from Kansas, Colorado, Nebraska, South Dakota, Iowa, Minnesota, and the tip of Wisconsin. And that wind threat's very high. We now have a 30% chance, significant risk for wind, same as yesterday there. That's including the area where we had the enhanced risk. And then we have a very widespread 15% chance of winds, including Minneapolis as well. Now let's go and check out now the storm reports we've had so far today. And also we're going to be looking at all the radar, CAPE, cap, and all of that to come. We've now just got a tornado report as of now, including the Minnesota area. We have our first tornado for today, so that's exactly, I have predicted 2 to 4, so that's already one. So I guess we maybe have possibly 1 to 3 left, or 2 to 3 left. Really, that could be likely there. So I think we could have maybe in total, really maybe even including 5 tornadoes today. Who knows? But I'm actually going to go with 4 to 6 tornadoes for today. Now that we already got one, and I think it's going to get just worse from here. But here we have the tornado for Otter, County, Minnesota, and that's a large tornado on the ground heading towards a farmhouse. So it is on the ground as of now. That is not where that tornado warning is. I don't think it was. Yep, it is. That's exactly where that tornado warning is. So yep, that is a confirmed tornado. So I bet you they put that tornado because it was confirmed, and they weren't just they didn't have any really indicated rotation until it went on the ground. Already have 51 wind reports, so a lot of wind reports are expected today. I could say 150 plus wind reports today. Maybe we already have 10 hail reports. I say 50 plus hail reports. So decent amount of activity today. Let's go and check out the NAM3KM model on radar, and also we're going to be looking at all the Cape, Cap, and also including the SCP. So here we are taking a look at the National Weather Service, not the National Weather Service, the NAM3KM model radar. As you see, this is the storm that did bring in that tornado here in Minnesota, that confirmed tornado there. That's exactly where it is. As you see, that's a pretty nice storm. Same thing could very well happen in Minnesota, or sorry, in South Dakota. Could very well see some really nice amounts of not tornado warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings for South Dakota very soon. As you see, these storms do split up, and this is exactly why we do have that 30% chance for winds right here for much of Nebraska and Kansas. You know why? This is possibly going to be a strong either wall cloud or shelf cloud. They're kind of the same thing. They have a lot of common. But as you see, the heaviest precipitation is in the beginning of the storm. This is indicating a very strong potential obvious wall cloud, which are windstorms. So you don't have to worry about tornadoes here, just some nice wind. You have to worry about tornadoes here today. That's exactly why we have that 5% chance there. So we're going to be seeing a ton of wind reports piled on each other today in Nebraska. And as you see, it does take the ridge. It does take that jet stream, which is exactly why it's moving so fast. And it has a high pressure on it right now at that point, and that's going to fall apart into Kansas. Now let's go and check out now the Cape values here on the pivotal weather here. Let me actually kind of extend this a little bit here so you guys can actually see it. But yeah, these are some nice amounts of Cape right now. This is the amount of energy in the atmosphere. As you do see, we have a good amount of numbers as of now already. We do possibly have 4,500 joules per kilogram, 4,400, 4,200, and as we get later on, we're going to possibly see 5,500 later in the evening. So really nice amount of energy, the exact same area. We have a severe weather threat here. This is where we saw the tornado right here. Possibly same thing can happen here, possibly happen here, here, here. So we definitely have a good possibility for tornadoes. And you see possibly 5,500, 5,200, even portions of Omaha, Lincoln, 4,400, 4,500 joules per kilogram. Nice numbers. Even by later tonight, in the middle of the night, still throwing some 3,600 joules per kilogram. And then tomorrow we have some nice numbers as well, 3,300, 4,000. But this is possibly reason that severe weather likely tomorrow as well. And also for the Central Plains and Northern Plains, including the Midwest, we also have a potential slight risk. Let's go ahead and check out now the CIN here, or the CAP. The higher the cap, the worse for potential development. So you do not want cap if you don't want a lot of cap if you want severe weather development, even tornadoes. So caps that warm air aloft. We have warm air in the higher atmosphere and cooler air in the surface. You want to switch that up so you can actually have a nice spinny atmosphere like that, and that can create some circulation. As you see, we are seeing some very good numbers here for cap later next coming hours. As you see, or as you know, anything higher than 200, is considered very high cap. So you want something below negative 200 and also above negative 30. Look at these numbers: negative 123, 60, negative 65, 74, negative 109, negative 100. Where the storm is right now, negative 153. Negative 62, negative 41. Some nice numbers. This is where it could cap out in that general vicinity there. Same potential with negative 210. So those are where the areas that could cap out. And then by later in the afternoon, or not in the afternoon, at midnight, really in the night, this is when things really kind of cap out. So that's why storms kind of really fall apart easily, unless they kind of head to this little area, but not necessarily expecting that. So definitely going to cap out. And then by tomorrow, we can also see potentially not seeing really anything capping out until later in the evening and after in the night. Let's go and check out then the SCP here, the supercell composite parameter or composite parameter. Anything higher than 25 is considered high, so anything higher than that. Look at this number right here. Supercells most likely bringing hook echoes, very tight rotation, and tornadoes. And look at this. This is possibly going to be the same storm. We have a 27, a 32 on the SCP. Let's go ahead and check that out and see exactly the photograph. As you see, look at that tornado to a 34.5 on supercell, and then a 6.2 on STP, so super significant tornado parameter. As we now move on to later on, we'll possibly see some pop-up storms. I could bring a 16 here, 19, 20 for SCP, and then we see some potential storms later on tomorrow as well in the southern plains. Hope you guys did enjoy that very quick video here on the severe weather. So be sure to smash that like button, subscribe button, also post notification icon bell. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to subscribe, all of that, and also check out the nice Weather Expo Discord server in the description below. Bye, guys.